The world had already ended 4 times. The Aztecs knew this with absolute certainty. They believed they were living in the fifth and final age, the Ollantaytamóvil, the sun of movement, and that this sun, their sun, would die unless it was fed. Fed with the one thing that kept the cosmos alive, human blood. Everything that followed, the wars, the tribute, the sacrifice, was not cruelty. It was a cosmic obligation. It began with wanderers. Around 1111 AD, a Nahuatl-speaking people left a mythic homeland called Aztlan, guided south by the whispers of a war god named Huitzilopochtli. For centuries they were nobody, poor, landless, pushed to the margins of the Valley of Mexico by stronger powers. But hungry people remember their hunger, and these people were building something inside that hunger. In 1428, everything changed. 3 city-states, Tenochtitlan, Texcoco, and Tlacopan, forged the Triple Alliance and crushed the dominant city of Azcapotzalco. The Aztec Empire was born, but it was one man who would give it its teeth. His name was Tlacaelel, and he didn't just advise the emperor, he rewrote the cosmology of an entire civilization. Tlacaelel declared Huitzilopochtli the supreme sun god, and declared that human blood was the fuel keeping the sun alive. Every war was now sacred, every captive was cosmically necessary. In one ideological stroke, he turned a military empire into a religious machine. It is one of the most consequential acts of political propaganda in all of human history. The empire didn't rule like Rome. It didn't impose its laws or its language. Instead, it invoiced. 38 provinces sent tribute, cloaks, cacao, gold, warrior costumes, rubber balls, even live eagles. Local rulers kept their thrones as long as the payments arrived. This wasn't governance. It was, as one historian put it, closer to a protection racket than a government. Moving through this empire like shadows were the Pochteca, the merchant class. But these were no ordinary traders. They were intelligence agents, diplomats, advanced scouts who traveled into foreign territories before Aztec armies followed. Their trade routes were imperial tentacles. They even had their own internal rankings, their own courts, their own gods. A parallel power system hiding in plain sight. By the 1470s, sacrifice had become something else entirely. The Aztecs began demanding hundreds, sometimes thousands of lives, not only to feed the gods, but to send a message to restless city-states. Religion and political terror had become indistinguishable. As one historian warned, the longer you demand tribute from others, the worse it will be if you are ever brought down. And 3 city-states never bowed at all. Tlaxcala, Cholula, and Huexotzinco held their ground inside the empire's claimed territory, unconquered, resentful, waiting. When a Spanish captain named Cortés arrived in 1519, they didn't hesitate. The empire hadn't built loyalty. It had built a network of enemies held together by nothing but fear. And fear, it turns out, has an expiration date. The empire fell in 1521. But here is the haunting part. When the Spanish wanted to understand how the Aztecs had extracted such enormous wealth from so many people, they commissioned indigenous scribes to reconstruct the entire tribute system in a document called the Codex Mendoza. The colonizers didn't erase the Aztec accounting system. They copied it. An empire built on blood left behind a receipt book. And the next empire used it. If you found this compelling, subscribe. There's much more where this came from.